Hello, everyone. Casey here, jumping in before the episode to let you know that the Jesters have a live show performance coming up. On July 29th, we are going to be performing at Sip and Play in Brooklyn. The show starts at 7 p.m., and it's going to be run by the lovely Rachel Kordell, and it's titled The Last Wish. You can get your tickets down below in the description, or you can buy them at the door there. But we hope to see you there either way for this amazing live show performance.
It came from a land of brutality and evil. It came from terror and fear.
Calling me through the reeds, the wind sweeps, the waves bury me. Blood and dirt, flesh and rain, it's mud all the same. Before rivers, before bones, old like the marshlands, old like the marshlands, old like the marshlands when they heard their name.
I don't have an intro for this one, so I guess that's the intro. Welcome back to Blood on the Reeds, everybody.
Woo! Yeah.
Why don't we start things off with special guest Nate Brass?
Hi, everyone. I'm Nate. I forget how we start these. I play Chet, the Swamp Wizard.
Let's jump over to Rachel Kordell.
I play Laura Turner, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
You've been crabbed.
You've been crabbed. It's like getting stick bugged, but you turn into a crab, and it's bad. Seth Coveyou.
Mr. Fiddler Crab, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I think Seth said it, actually.
Seth said it. Casey Reardon.
I play Elmer Fink, and it's bad luck to exit through a door you didn't enter.
Ooh, I love that. And Andrew Frost.
My name is Vernon Hodges, and this kind of reminds me of the time that me and my fellow owl agents led a whirling Wimpus into a small-town antique store. I think the government's still paying off the broken items.
Can I ask how? Can I ask how this reminds you of that?
All the clamshells that are swirling all around us.
No. That's crazy, Andrew. That's crazy, Andrew. But Casey literally said he wouldn't walk out of a fire escape.
It's true. That is true. That is true.
I'm going down with it.
Just roaring flames coming through your front door. I can't go out the window. It's bad luck.
To be fair, one of my other characters has had a bad experience with a fire escape. So,
oh, but that's not a real person.
It's imaginary.
Well, neither is
person
Elmer,
that you
who
made up.
is the one who believes in
Elmer's
all of this
real to me.
shit,
You're
so.
all real to me. What? Hey, who? What? Okay, well, then why don't we move on to a recap? Not a whole lot happened last session. If you really think about it. We had a lovely intro where we heard for the first time any clue to the whereabouts of Marcus Long, your guys' original task for coming here to
I think that was in
find
character.
a congressman's son. Congressman's son.
We gotta get that verse race shit out.
Ah, yes, the rump preservatives.
Congressman's.
Wait, is he a rump preservative or Sendador?
God, he's having a stroke.
Oh my god.
I think he was a Sendador, right?
Hey, the congressman's son, Marcus Long, you finally heard from him in a cold intro. Then we went to Chet, Vernon, and John, who were speaking to the witches inside of their oyster mound that apparently was keeping them trapped there, both physically and metaphorically. You got a little bit of information from them on some of the stuff going around the island right now. They knew how to remove James's invulnerability, which you have heard about a handful of times at this point, that apparently he cannot take damage, he cannot suffer harm. And they offered that information on how to break that, as well as how to break his control over this girl, who you have now named Bailey, is the answer. She is a solution to something. But the witches didn't even quite know. But they know that she's powerful, and with that literal strength, she would be able to remove the oyster pile that is trapping them both physically and metaphorically. However, you did not, I don't think the information on who exactly trapped them there was provided. We cut away from there, where Laura had a wonderful conversation while Elmer watched in the corner in slight terror as the god of fiddler crabs revealed that Laura needed to bring that child to him, for him to consume, and then he can grant a boon of any sort to her, whatever she desires most. Probably freedom and a return to normal, if I had to make a guess. But who knows? Maybe she just wants bigger claws. Could be that.
How else is she supposed to attract a mate?
Elmer managed to get them both out of there, and in that moment, we went back to the witches, where Chet was able to do some pretty impressive magic, while John and Vernon distracted the witches, mostly John with that silver tongue of his, before getting caught lifting the ornamental bow piece from John's boat. The witches collapsed the place on them, trying to trap our heroes, but they managed to break free and get outside, where they saw Laura and Elmer knelt on the ground, Laura's jaw having become split open like a crab's mandibles. And that is where we pick up the session. You are outside of the Black-Eyed Susan perimeter right now. Laura, you are probably looking the most worse for wear, but no one is looking good right now. You are all tired, battered, and bruised. You have been through traumatic events and strange happenings, and you all sort of find yourself in this short, marshy grass lighthouse about 400 feet away from you. You can hear the bay drifting against its shores, the wind drifting through these reeds, creating a symphony of slight sound as the stalks rub against each other. And despite the horrors, there is a moment of calm here.
Laura? Laura, I need you to come back to us, Laura. I think Elmer's just going to slap Laura across the face.
What happened in there?
What?
Laura.
Hi. Hello. Where's the... We gotta find the girl. We gotta find the girl. We gotta
Laura,
find the girl.
you need to stop.
Stop what? Stop what?
She's freaking me out.
Oh!
Chet, Vernon, I think she needs your help here. Someone with more expertise on this than me. Something is going on. She's, I guess, a herald of the fiddler crab god. That's what brought her back. And now she's lost in this.
Did you say crab god?
I did.
Oh my god, you became a herald? That's so amazing!
No, it's a bad thing,
Laura.
Chet, this is not good.
To find her and bring her to the crab, to the
Chet,
crab
yeah,
god.
I imagine you say that without really looking at Laura at first, because you all like ended up face down on the ground. So you would be like, "That's amazing," and then you look over and see what is becoming of Laura. Laura, you are able to speak perfectly fine, but your mandibles crack apart every time you do, and fresh blood runs down onto your already filthy and dirty clothes.
Oh my god, what happened to your face?
I don't.
In the most polite way.
It's beautiful. Whatever's happening, I don't even know.
What do I know to fix this? Like,
What
is there
sort of
anything in my
knowledges
notebook?
do you have?
Let me pull it up. That might
This
help.
would be knowledge magic. This could also be knowledge nature, though they might yield different answers. Chet, you can absolutely roll on this.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. I'm going to say this is a difficulty 4 for whatever you guys want to roll.
Yeah.
Chet, you're going to automatically ease that by 1.
I am trained in the names, habits, suspected layers, and related topics regarding the magical and natural creatures of the world.
Yeah, ease it by 1.
Groovy.
I got a 17.
Fantastic.
Only a 12. Oh, but 12 meets a pizza.
I think while this deliberation is happening, Laura is like, I picture her falling back into the sand and like rolling around, and like the sand is sticking to the blood and like on her face and getting in the mandibles, and she's just like rolling around, just like in this weird like ecstasy. I don't even know what to really call it. She's just kind of out of her mind.
Oh yeah, she's definitely a herald.
I love it. Vernon, how'd you do?
12.
12.
Which meets a
Okay,
pizza
then.
with the brought.
What knowledge are you rolling specifically here?
Just about, I guess, knowledge of heralds, I guess.
Okay, then. All right, so you would both vaguely know the same information here. They are called gods. They are not exactly gods, and they aren't as powerful as, you know, like the things that slumber under mountains. They are not elder things, and they are of the green, some more bastardized than others, usually typically depending on the nature of the animal. You know, the god of deer would be something that is probably more majestic and mysterious, as well as more widespread because more people revere deer. They are food, they are symbols as, of various things, but a crab is an eater of detritus, an eater of things on the bottom of the water that have already been eaten. It is a lower form of nature, an important one. So there is power there, but nothing good necessarily. And these gods have power. They are not omniscient, though, so it is impressive that it was able to revive someone. But you can assume that there is powerful magic all across this island and in the water as well. So you would be able to glean that sort of information from it, as well as Laura is now tied to this god in a way that works almost like a curse.
Said omniscient, which is all-knowing when you mentioned bringing her back rather than omnipotent, which would be all-powerful to bring someone back. I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
Nerd. Okay. I just know words. You're just a big nerd. We'll just leave all that in. But thank you. That is what I meant. Fair enough. So you have that information now. John, you ended up grabbing the piece of the dead rice, right?
I do have a piece of the dead rice. Mm-hmm.
All right. It feels connected in a way to you. It's like when you look at your children and your wife, it's like a piece of your family is sitting in your lap, but almost in an inexplicable, it feels like magic, just holding it.
Do I have any kind of field experience that would help me, like, I guess help with shock or help, bring someone back to reality, for lack of a better term?
Do you have any abilities that can help you with that? Otherwise, I mean, just trying to verbally,
Pleasant social interactions.
You come around here often?
Let me see. No, it specifies non-human beast. I have soothed the savage. That would be funny.
It would be funny, but it's not.
Am I human?
Yeah.
Humanoid. It doesn't say human.
I think Chet is going to knowing what he knows about the crab god and all of this bullshit, I think is first gonna look at Elmer. Elmer, real quick question. She didn't eat the mud, right?
She definitely ate the mud. Yeah, why?
Okay, no, that's fine. It's just that kind of like confirms the contract. No, it's fine.
Laura is like shoveling sand into her mouth.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Laura, come over here.
Laura, hey, Laura. So you know how you didn't believe in any of the cool magic stuff before? I feel like you do now.
What?
I want you to close your eyes and maybe put your hands in the dirt here.
Okay.
And just feel the green around you.
Sure. Yeah. Laura does so. She takes her hands and fingers and sinks them through the sand into the dirt underneath. And spreads her fingers into it.
Hear the green's call. It wants to talk to you. And you have the ability to listen. You just gotta turn on your ears.
I think in that moment, you put your fingers into the sand and it is warm and gentle as it wraps around your hands, like gloves that were left by a fireplace on a cold day. And that warmth spreads up through your arms, like tiny little legs running up along you. And you hear in your head in the foremost front the call of a blackbird sing true, like a resonance as it touches against you, that sound. And no roll needed from Chet or from Laura. You are able to snap out of it, at least temporarily. That temporary madness, it's still there. It's still real what happened to you, but you feel grounded now.
I think it doesn't bring her all the way back because I think she would immediately be fearful.
Oh yeah.
But it's not fear. It's just like her sanity, right? So her shoulders roll back as she feels this come to her. And with the most lucid eyes you've seen since everyone else left her in front of the lighthouse, she looks back to Chet. Yeah. There's definitely something different.
You've been through a lot, and you're not gonna understand it right away. Hell, you're probably not gonna understand it a few years from now. But the green wants you to survive. It's talking to you for a reason. You have a gift. Now it's come full force.
A gift. Right.
I think as this conversation is happening between Laura and Chet, Elmer is going to kind of take Vernon off to the side and kind of run him through everything that just happened. And he's going to say, and the thing wants Laura to bring Bailey to it so he can eat her. And as good of a job as Chet's doing right now, I don't know if that's going to stick. We should just maybe keep an eye on her.
You make a very good point. Right now, I'm more concerned about the wounds in her mouth. She was shoveling dirt and broken shell. I'm sure her mouth is sliced up. We don't need her getting an infection.
I mean, I don't necessarily have any skills with that, Vernon. I don't know about you, but...
I once again produce John's mason jar full of moonshine from my pocket.
Never give it back.
I think you can strip paint with this. Laura?
Wait, do we want to get her drunk right now?
She's not going to swallow. Laura,
Sure.
I just need you to swish this around in your mouth for a little bit, and then spit it out. I'm going to be very real with you. This is going to be terrible.
You know, everything is a little terrible, actually. I grabbed the jar and
don't swallow. Don't swallow.
go to put it in my mouth, but I don't know how to use my mouth like this, so I think it immediately comes out the bottom a little bit. It almost misses because you go to take a sip of something and you expect it to get caught by your jaw, but it does not happen as the mandible opens up.
You all would watch as Laura brings that to her lip and her jaw splits open, sinew and blood stretching between the two and coating the bottom of the jar as she does this, and it burns. Your entire mouth is lacerated from oyster shell and dirt. Not even just putting it into your mouth, but eating it with such conviction that it is nature, that this is what you're supposed to do. And it burns the inside of your mouth. I mean, that might even help you ground you even more as the pain triggers a slight adrenaline response. But yeah, blood and saliva and moonshine flow from the bottom of your mouth, but you manage to clean out your mouth, basically.
Oh, God, fuck. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. But it's for the best, trust me.
And she shoves the jar back at you. Ugh.
I put it away.
What the hell, man?
I'll take care of it, John. Don't worry.
You better. That stuff don't grow on trees.
Nah, it's from corn, right? I believe.
No, it ain't from corn. That's white lightning.
It's made straight from crabs.
I think when since you mentioned crabs, I think when this conversation is going on, and again, she's trying to collect herself, the adrenaline and the just everything that's going on. She finds herself looking at the water line nearby, and just kind of trying to collect herself there.
Laura, do you mind if I take a quick look at your jaw?
Sure.
Can I very gingerly kind of just pull open a mandible?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So is this basically just a giant open wound, Sky?
I mean, it's the inside of the mouth that you're looking at with a bunch of cuts inside of it, basically.
Well,
and then you would
besides those-
see farther inside are now additional sets of basically like feathered mandibles, as well as these feathery gill plates down further into her throat.
We've only been traveling for around, a day? And you're already this changed. How long ago did you start noticing these changes?
I noticed slit on my throat that was healed when I met you. I noticed the crack in my jaw when I woke up from a dream. I don't know.
And that was what, this morning, right?
2 days ago?
No, it was
We
this
slept
morning.
once.
We slept once. Yeah, this is
Oh.
all just one day. Yeah.
Your body's changing at quite an alarming rate. Laura, I need you to tell me of any other changes you might be going through as they come along. Is that all right with you?
You actually see her like narrow her eyes. Are you going to help me?
I will do everything I can to.
Can I sense some kind of insight on that?
Yeah, I think you can.
We've done this before, haven't we? How do we roll this?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. No, so you guys are tier 2, but I don't know what.
Just
what-
roll off.
I mean, this might not even be necessarily a roll because, are you trying to hide anything?
Well, I asked, are you going to help me? What I mean by that is he going to help me bring the girl to the crab? I also am trained in all actions that involve seeing through like lies and deception, basically. So-
But I'm trained in pleasant social interaction, so that kind of
Oh,
balances
well, then I guess we're just rolling. I'm throwing my dice down.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 17.
Damn. Sure. Yeah, then in that case, sure. Yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Whatever helps.
I will do everything that Owl allows me to.
Great.
Well, it seems like y'all have been through a lot. We just talked to some witches. Turns out they're evil. Who knew?
You don't say.
But they didn't let me inside.
That's probably for other reasons, Laura.
I don't think they're good reasons.
They also want the girl. Apparently
See?
the girl's very powerful.
Well, I think
Of
we
course.
gathered that at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, the murdering us was definitely a hint, but, I just figured I'd let y'all know.
Regardless, I don't know if we should give the girl to anybody, seeing how that feels wrong on a numerous ways, especially when one of those ways is the crab eating her. So,
Excuse me?
yes, Laura, the crab eating a small child is a bad
It's what needs to
thing.
happen.
I'm going to slap Laura again. Laura, listen to yourself. Do you even remember who you are?
I'm going to slap you back.
Watch out!
We're
That's
just
her
getting
claw
a slap
hand.
fight.
Pull each other off.
Break
I
the
know who
law,
I
get the
am
claw,
now.
Elmer.
You are both trained Owl agents, and you will act like it.
I know who I am now. And I know what I have to do.
All right, folks, I think we have our answer.
Answer about what?
And Elmer's just going to kind of walk away at this point, start making his way in the direction that we were heading initially before we got sidetracked by this lighthouse towards town.
Oh, you're heading towards the town.
Should we stop somewhere? I got a magic grimoire. I kind of want to spend some time reading it.
Yes,
You got
that.
a what?
Yeah, I stole a little grimoire from the witches so we could get magic powers.
Wonderful. Maybe that could help.
Well, that was very easily accepted.
Okay, this isn't Laura. I don't know what to do about this.
What?
You're supposed to call me weird for having magic books. You're not supposed to say,
well, yeah, maybe
that
it could help.
What is this?
I have a purpose. I have something I have to do. I'm going to bring that girl to him.
Now you're being freaky.
Laura, your purpose is to return
Freaky.
Marcus Long.
Funny.
to
Real
his-
funny. Freaky. What?
Your purpose is to return Marcus Long back to his home. Or at least to recover his body.
Well, that won't happen before we bring the girl to the crab. That's for sure.
Sure, honey.
Well, we go to her. Regardless of what any of you think. And I'll go off after Elmer.
Yeah, at this point, the sun is setting again. You know that you'll be able to make it to some drier land in another one of those sugar pine groves. This time, there's no man at the crossroads. It's just a fairly open thicket of trees that you can see through to the other side, but it provides dry, rooted ground that you'll be able to potentially sleep on, maybe even make a fire out here, away from the witches, away from the horror of that town. And yeah, you all make camp for the night, I assume?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
then.
Now that we've moved closer to town, we should take things in shifts. I'm usually up early anyway. So I might take the last. I'll likely wake up naturally at 4.
I'll take the first.
I guess I'll go in the middle.
Wherever I can fill in.
Laura, you
I
need
feel
your
like
rest.
you're good.
Fine. I'll take it.
I mean, you can stay up with me. We can talk about magic stuff. You can learn to harness your skills.
Sure. I'd love to.
Elmer, why don't we start with you?
As everybody is kind of bedding down for the night, and they all lay their heads down by the fire to keep us warm, Elmer is going to pull out a small box and start digging a hole. Doesn't take too long. He doesn't need to bury it too deep, but he places the box in the ground, covers it with dirt, and lays 3 stones over the hole. And he says, "Thanks, Lucky, for looking out for us. We could use your help again." And this is the cipher that I started with. The Bay Retriever box. It is a level D6, so I'll roll that right now to see what level it is, because it can be a little bit more powerful. It's a level 1, so not super. But
oh no,
that's okay. The only thing it does is it has to be like level 5 or higher to do anything extra anyway. But after burying the box and saying a word of thanks, for the next day, the dog spirit tips you off, easing your tasks in sensing danger and initiative.
Yeah, so you put this into the ground and you say these words, and then when you look up, there is a panting dog, like happy panting, its mouth slightly agape, it's got a tongue rolling out the side of its mouth before it licks you, and you fully feel this ghostly, ethereal tongue on your face as a Chesapeake Bay Retriever is in front of you, and it quietly just as it sort of like dances on 2 paws and then spins around, and then you watch as seemingly out of nowhere it drops a ghostly stick in front of you.
I reach to pick up the stick.
It grabs
Give it
the
a
stick
toss.
and keeps you from grabbing it before you can toss it.
Lucky, we can't play if you don't give it to me.
It runs in a circle excitedly and then drops the stick in front of you again.
I try and grab it again.
Please make a level 2 speed check for me.
Okay. Great. That's going to be an 8.
As an 8, you just barely managed to get the stick The dog, like, growls for, like, a half second and then, like, pops back up when it sees that you're about to throw it. And then you throw it.
Yep.
It runs, leaps, grabs the stick midair, and then, like, as if its ghostly essence comes apart, you watch as it wraps around the area and these little twinkles of light catch on to the trees and surrounds your entire camp in a ghostly, almost gentle mist to it, forming a slight barrier as you know that the spirit is now looking out for you.
Don't get jealous, Ruth. Don't be jealous. Come on now.
You see Ruth waddles over with a way too large stick in her mouth. She's having to like drag the whole thing and just drops it in front of you and looks expectantly.
All right. Grabs the big stick and tries to throw it.
You throw it. Ruth just kind of looks up at you and then just flops on her side and just goes and then goes to sleep.
All right, then.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your watch?
No, there's not anything else that I want to do during my watch.
Okay, then. Let's hear. John, you said you had something that you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elmer was playing with his stick, so I'll play with mine. You said that the you said that the piece of my boat was magic. I kind of want to ponder it.
Okay, why don't you roll me and identify?
Okay. And I would like to ease this with my train skill, understanding magic.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a 1.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a difficulty 1.
I rolled a 9.
Incredible. This is not a cipher, but instead, this is something called an artifact, which is much more powerful. It is not a one-off item. It is permanently magical. And you feel something magical in the name that is written out before you, almost compelling you to say it.
Dead Rise.
As the piece of boat in front of you sort of starts to shake in your hand, and it almost flies out of your hand as ethereal pieces of ship almost melding out of shadow start latching together and forming the hull of a ship, piece by piece, completely rebuilding your ship again in front of you, slightly in the air, about a few inches off the ground, before landing with a thud right in front of you. And you realize that with this artifact, once a day, or between long rests, you will be able to, at will, summon your ship again. And again at will, you will be able to recall the boat once a day back to its simple slat form. Always back to your hand. And you will never lose your ship again.
Aww.
Wait, why am I crying again?
Because this is family. My luck is turned. Although I am slightly inconvenienced at the moment.
All you need is to will it, and it'll turn back into the ornamental bow piece.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like teary-eyed, but scratching my head like, well, it's back. But how do I say it backwards?
Muck?
I think before you even finish it, because in your head you're already thinking, I want it back to its original form. It's not really another component there is needed. You just simply need to will it. And those pieces once again fly off of it back into shadow, as if into murky water, sinking back down. And then all that remains, and you almost blink, you don't even feel it enter your hand, but you are simply holding Dead Rise in your hand again.
I'm gonna be the coolest dad.
I think you finish out the rest of your watch, and why don't we go to Chet here? Chet, you are awake doing your watch.
I will wake with Chet if he'll wake me.
Yeah. I want you to examine this grimoire now. But if you and Laura first want to talk, you are welcome to. Depends on what you would do first. Would you wake Laura immediately with you and talk the nature of magic and try and help her? Or would you study the grimoire first and then awaken her?
Oh man, I want to do both those things so badly.
You'll be able to.
I think I'll wake Laura first. Let her see the grimoire as well.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
If she wants to, if she chooses to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you wake her, I imagine we'll just skim over that. But yeah, so we're both sitting at the fire. Would you talk first, or would you wait for her to say something?
I think for a while there's an awkward silence.
Sure.
And then kind of like staring at the fire, avoiding eye contact. Chet will start. Look, Laura, I know that this is a lot. I was raised with it, and still I get confused, but the green is a powerful thing, and you have been called upon. And I don't know if this is coming out right. Look, I know not 24 hours ago you didn't believe in any of this. And I don't really know what you need to hear, because I always believed in it. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I want to help you understand what this is.
When Chet finishes talking, her head snaps in his direction. And she says, I don't think this is the green, like whatever it is that you know. This is different. I'm dead. I died. And I was chosen. I don't know what that means. I could just be in my own personal hell right now. I have no idea what's going on. But I feel so different. I feel broken. And she gestures to her jaw. And I feel awake. I don't know what the green has to do with any of that. But, I don't know. I guess we're just figuring it out.
Green has everything to do with it.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's all around us. It's the energy of the world that, you think crab gods just come out of nowhere?
It's the energy of life, right?
Exactly.
I should be dead. So what does that
but
mean?
instead you inhabit that energy. A herald chosen to spread something. I'm not a crab expert, but I see something in you that, no, you're not a green witch, but you have green energies that speak through you.
So what does your book there say about all this then?
About crabs, I'm not sure. I'm hoping it'll tell us what's up with this Bailey girl.
Yes.
Okay, can you say that a little bit less creepy, though?
No.
That's fair.
I think with that, you start to examine the book now. Laura, you either stay up with him and you two relay about the book, or you head off to bed and you leave Chet to examine the book there.
I think Laura will stay awake for as long as she can. I think if there's information that Chet wants to withhold, like, I think she is actually tired. I think she actually, like, is, sleepy. And I think that would be one of the things that Chet could, like, if there was something that he wishes to conceal, like, wait for her to conk out and then continue. So for as much as that she's willing or she's able to know, she will. But then again, you decide if you want to conceal anything.
Yeah, Chet, you start reading, and immediately you're looking for anything on this fiddler crap god, and you're not finding anything. This grimoire is a mess of sort of journal entries and strange magic rituals. Some of them are written pages apart, and it is hard to decipher and put together. It is such the mind of a non-green witch to put this together, and there's such evidence that they are not of the green, because the first half of this book, it's tons of rituals and strange magic from what looks like centuries ago. There are journals in here that go as far back as the 1500s, potentially. And you find entries on how the witches were betrayed by James's father, Augustus Theach, who trapped them there. You find that they originally served no one, and that they were from a strange world that was much more magical than this, but they came here seeking power. And there they willingly served Augustus's father as well. So they go back generations within this family right now. The other things that you determine is that James got this power by tricking the witches. His invulnerability, it was a deal where the witches agreed to make him invulnerable using the blood of his grandfather, the one that they had originally served, in order to kill Augustus and release them from where they are trapped. Because once again, Augustus trapped them, and James is Augustus's son. James, however, did not free them. And they found that through this invulnerability, he was very resistant to their magic, and there was no physical harm that they could do upon him. As well as being trapped where they are, they were out of options, basically, and there they have remained. Well, James has taken control of this island from his father. But there is a way to bypass that enchantment. If you too also contain some aspect, some piece of his grandfather, you will be able to do him harm and physically hurt him. You also find that his grandfather is about a mile north of the lighthouse. You don't find much information on the girl. She seemed to show up almost randomly about a decade ago. And you do find an entry that is written with, you can almost see that the handwriting changes to pure blinding rage. There is emotion off of this page as it details out that James tricked their sister Shell and killed her. And they believe that it is through that he is controlling Bailey, but they are not quite sure how. However, there was once 3 witches. And that is the information that you have gathered here.
Is there any of that you would specifically wish to conceal from Laura?
I don't think so. I think as long as, like, I think Chet, does some boring, like, just sitting there reading and, like, not really explaining stuff, just like, I don't know. And then if she stays up and is, like, asking questions, he's more than happy to share
communicating
what he's
it.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah, then in that case, I would be okay with her knowing all of that. Thanks. Cool.
Yeah, and I think at that, they'll wake up Vernon, and Chet will hand him just some spark notes of the book, and go to bed.
Let's see here. Elmer, you would awaken in the middle of the night and would hear a voice nearby simply saying, "Wayne, ain't you a weird little thing?" And then you'd hear Ruth going,
Elmer's gonna wake up and kind of look around for where that voice came from.
It's hard to see in the soft light of the fire as it is dying down right now. You look over and you see Vernon tending to the fire. Vernon, you don't really hear any of this, and you don't even see Elmer sit up. And you realize that you're having sort of an out-of-body experience right now, Elmer.
I look down at my sleeping body. Oh, well, this is weird. I don't know if I like this.
You look around and you hear once again the voice going, "Is that a stick? I'm not gonna... What? I'm not gonna toss that. What?" And you hear Ruth going, and your eyes focus in the darkness, getting used to it slowly when you see an extremely familiar face looking down at your otter.
Ruth?
Both the otter and the ghost turn to look at you. And a smile spreads across her lips. So she looks up and she's just like, "Hey, gravel brains."
I thought you were gone to me.
She kind of looks down and you see that, very ethereally, the top half of her is very translucent and transparent. It is her, but the bottom half sort of wisps away into the dark, and she kind of shrugs and goes, "I think I still am. That's strange. I've been somewhere, but I got no memory of it."
Well, I'm glad you're here. We're in a bit of a situation, and I'm scared it's gonna end up with another innocent girl ending up dead.
She makes a bit of a face, kind of dodges her head. She's making her way over towards you now and sits on the ground next to you. Ruth, your otter, jumps through you. Vernon, you would see to the side there, Elmer's still on the ground, but you would see Ruth, the otter, kind of spinning a little bit and trying to jump up on something, just being a weirdo. It's nothing unusual. It's just you would just see them being odd.
here's the thing. As someone who knows the unknowable, I have the ability see the unseen, in which I can automatically perceive creatures and objects that are normally invisible or existing mainly as spirits or in a non-physical state.
So, in this instance, and this would be a very rare instance of this, I would say no to that because this is more happening within Elmer.
Okay, gotcha.
In
Never
an
mind
almost like projection kind of way. I think it's more just narratively you look over and you just see Ruth being a weirdo. But in actuality, two friends are reuniting after a very, very long time. Yeah, I mean, you look like shit, I won't lie. All y'all
like
do.
Shit too.
Yeah, you would see looking at her, I mean, she is like gaunt. She's still the same Ruth that you knew, but she is emaciated and her eyes are sunken slightly. There's a sparkle to them of almost life, despite being just a spirit. And her hair is wispy, but it is thin, and there's a patch or two of it missing. And you would see that on the side of her neck is a huge knife wound, where clearly someone had stabbed into her. Yeah, I mean, no, it definitely looked better.
I thought... I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought that you were tied with that house, no? Did you get away?
I died. I ceased to be, and I wish I could tell. There is something.
But I saw you in Georgia and then I saw you in the mist on the way here. But every time I tried to call on you,
I think the universe often responds in wants and needs. And I think that, well, before this, you wanted me back. Just how I wanted to see you. But it was not a need. You understand? And now, well, I think you need me here. In the way that a powerful need can manifest certain things. But that is almost a law of the world that we're living in. Things change. Things can change because we want them to. But a bigger driver of that change is when it needs to change.
These are some profound words coming from the mouth of someone who looks like a 12-year-old.
She laughs. And I think you guys have and Vernon, you're over there and you just watch Elmer like roll and like slightly chuckle in his sleep. And it's just, again, like just kind of weird happenstance, things happening. She goes, I'm so happy to be here with you. She hugs you, and you can feel her hug. It is cold, but it is an embrace.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Let's get some rest, and we could talk more in the morning. You look like hell.
I think with that, he lingers for a bit in the hug, not knowing if he will see her in the morning, but lies back down into his body and falls asleep again.
And the morning comes and arises, and you all are able to get a rest again, this time your final 10-hour one. So go ahead and roll on your d6s and add your modifiers and give yourself that rest. Chet, I assume you relay the news that you need to head north?
Yeah, I think Chet told Vernon at night, and then when everyone wakes up, grabs John and Elmer and lets them know kind of what he found in the book.
Now, above the table, Elmer, is she constantly summoned as a companion, or do you summon her, like, to your aid?
So the way that it works, I believe she is constantly summoned, but she's not constantly visible. I need to basically spend intellect in order to get her to manifest physically to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But she can also like aid me in different tasks when I do that.
Okay. I'm sorry, so you need to manifest her in order for her to...
So physically, she's basically always around, but I need to manifest her if I want her to do anything, I believe. I'll double check on that, but sure that's what it is.
You wake up and she is sitting by the smoldering embers. She gives you a little wave and then gently puts a finger to her lips. And you guys knew each other for so long, and you know that what she means by that is not necessarily keeping me a secret, but just there are other things to focus on right now.
He just kind of subtly nods back to her.
Yeah. So, Chet, you relay the information that in order to bypass that enchantment, that magical thing that makes him invulnerable, you will need a piece of his grandfather, as the book calls it, the original wolf.
That's such a cool title.
Oh, so we learned he's a wolf? Or, well, no, technically, like, I know, but, like, we confirm it
yes,
like
through
that.
the book, you confirm that his grandfather was most likely a werewolf as well.
Right.
Is there anything anybody else wants to say before we head north?
You look well rested, Elmer.
Yeah. Yeah, you know I feel it, too.
I'm happy to hear.
And you all head north through the marsh. You give a fairly wide berth to the lighthouse. None of you really feel the pull this time other than Chet. You still hear that humming. And there's something a little more jarring, a little bit more sinister about it, but you hear it. Elmer, when you are, in your closest of your arc there, you would see as Ruth disappears. And basically, she just says to you, like, I can't be present with witches around. And she hides herself away. And you all head north. And you trek for about a mile north of the lighthouse there, walking through the marshlands again. Why doesn't everybody give me this is going to be a difficulty 5 might roll. Or sorry, let's call it difficulty 4. Difficulty 4 might check.
Is this for maneuvering through terrain? So Wilderness Explorer.
So Wilderness Explorer will ease this. Rachel, you got your hand up?
Geography.
Yeah. I just had a question, like, is the string sound still present for me, for Laura?
It has gone back to the plucking.
The plucking. Gotcha.
Yeah. The rest of you, how'd you do?
I got an 18.
Okay.
I got an 11, but I am trained in wilderness navigation.
Okay, so you're good. John?
Did we recover it all?
You should have gotten your final 2 rests from the last night.
Nice.
Yeah, 2d6 plus 4. And then you add that to whatever you want.
Oh, it's 2d6?
I had 3 left because I did all of them.
Then you can do all 3
last time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's if we used all of them.
Yeah, and it was primarily that you were able to rest so well because Casey used that cipher, in my mind, and that dog was basically shielding you. And
it still works for the full day as well. So I do still have that.
Yes, it'll continue on here.
Oh, okay, just above table because I just checked off the 10-hour one, so that's just 1. But I still have my 10-minute and my action. Can I keep my action?
Just reset all of it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that you've done your 10-hour, because you're supposed to do them in order.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then once you do the 10-hour, they all reset again.
Oh, I was saving them.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, John,
And
how'd you
I'm
do?
Rolling the remaining then.
I rolled a 5.
Incredible. John, you are going to take 5 points of damage. Chet
Oof.
and Laura, you're each going to take 2.
Oof.
Well, never mind on that heal.
You son of a gun.
As you make your way through the marshes, it is rough terrain. It is hard to walk on. There's rarely a lot of stable ground. There's a lot of razor grasses as well, these pointed shrubs that just poke into you everywhere you walk. And it is not necessarily that they do a lot of damage individually, but after walking through half a mile of them, you feel pricked and poked and you're mentally worn down a little bit more. In the distance, you see a pole sticking out of the marsh. It almost looks like a telephone pole rising up out of the marsh. Singular pole with a cross beam towards the top and some planks hanging off of the very, very top. It is at a slight angle as it sticks out of the marsh as you make your way towards that. You have no idea what you're looking for. You just know that it is a mile north. So this is the first marker of anything that you've been able to see. And what I want to do now is I want everyone to roll me a d20, and we're going to determine who rolls the lowest.
Interesting. Okay.
This is
So just
frightening.
basically a group luck check.
I got a 4.
Ooh.
I got an 11. So
Anyone do worse than a 4?
Oh, I got a 4 too.
Ooh.
Wow.
fate.
Twins.
So here's what happens. You all arrive, you're looking around. John and Elmer, you both walk closer to that pole and then slightly to the left. When very suddenly, the ground gives out from underneath you both and you start to fall. I need you each to make speed defense rolls here.
Can I add sensing danger on top of this?
It is not really sensing danger, you just simply fell through a hole.
I'd consider that
Can
trap
I,
danger, but all right.
It's not a trap, it's just...
Just a hole.
It's a
Just a hole.
dangerous hole.
All right, you can ease it by 1.
I'm gonna use it by
Use
2
this with
because of-
my trained ability business because I know how to handle it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that
know,
makes sense,
carpentry.
yeah.
You know, that was a bad floor.
You should drop that by 2.
All right, give me your rolls, guys.
So I have another thing here as well.
This guy's just like, it's not that deep.
All right,
Just-
fine, I'll just roll
2
dice.
feet-
It's fine.
No, no, no,
Just
no.
fall
You
in
could
the
do
hole.
no. You could do your ability.
7.
You're probably gonna want to do your ability anyway.
I thought I had one that
I got an ability
was
called
specifically
Fly.
for.
The hole is not that deep.
Yeah.
guys.
So this is a difficulty 3 check. So roll above a 9. John, how'd you do?
7.
I got a 12.
Ouch. Great. Okay then. Oh, I also just realized it's only a difficulty 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's only a difficulty 2 because it's an up a tier every 20 feet you fall. So both of you succeed. So you're each going to take 8 points of damage as you thud into a
God.
cave far down below.
What
Chet
type of damage? Does it matter?
might.
8 points of might damage?
I'll let you spread that out. No, it's 8
Like
points
that
of might
almost
damage.
takes me out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it does.
That's the end of my
I
pool.
break both of my legs.
That's the end of my might pool.
Fantastic. As you both slam into the ground, it could have been so much worse.
Wait,
Um,
what do you mean so much? I have no pool.
You could have taken 16.
Yeah, but
Jesus Christ.
You could have taken 16. You fall down and you land hard. You manage to control your fall slightly, grabbing on to the side of the cave as you fall, but it's still a rough landing to the bottom here. And hurt yourselves pretty severely. And in the light cascading down from the top of that hole, Chet, Vernon, and Laura, you all run over and look down into this fairly immense cavern that you have fallen into, where your eyes adjust to the dark and you see in front of you an absolutely enormous man-of-war battleship, old and wooden, towering over you guys, many levels of gun decks. And you see emblazoned on the side of the ship the name, the Queen Anne's Revenge. And that is where we are going to end our session this week.
Whoa.
What?
Wild.
Excuse me?
All the
Thank you all
cannons
for
pointed
listening.
down into the hole. They all fire.
I think Andrew understands what's happening.
Yeah.
No, I know, but geographically, it's in the wrong spot.
Delaware Bay, the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh my
No, literally
god.
in North Carolina, off the shore of North Carolina.
Well, he also operated a lot out of the Delaware Bay and parts of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, but he
Also,
sunk it outside of North Carolina.
Or so they said.
And
Or
their
so
head was
they
mounted
said.
on a pike
No,
at
they-
the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. So
Hi,
it's
welcome
all
back
over the
to
place.
Boat Talk.
Also, it's a fantasy world, so really, who cares?
We're in Sky's world.
Yeah.
Get used to it, I guess.
Let's start with some plugs. Nate Brass.
I'm fine with giant crab gods, but you're telling me Blackbeard was in the Chesapeake Bay? That's bullshit. Hey, what's up, internet?
Fucking bullshit, dude.
What's up, internet? I'm Nate. If you want to check out more of me, check out Escape the Dungeon podcast. Check out Starcrawl RPG. Check out Roll D5. They're cool. Bro, Popcorn Andrew.
I'd like to shout out Blackbeard. Thanks, Blackbeard. Oh my
thank
god! Teach! Teach!
Hey, you figured it out.
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ.
It was right in front of you the whole time.
Oh my god.
Is that the plug?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, popcorn.
Rachel, just take it.
Hi guys. Quick shout out to Hard as a Dungeon podcast. Once again, I was in their show, The House and the Light, recently. Go over to them and check them out. Super excited for that to have come out. And if you haven't listened to it already, what are you doing? It's out. Go listen now. I'm also going to give a shout out to the Corner of Pleasure in West River, which has been continuing to release episodes with fantastic performers in every single episode. So go listen to that. My episode included, and enjoy that. Go over to Folk and Myth on Twitch and YouTube for all Vampire the Masquerade Montreal content. It's all good over there, and it's all gory, and we love it. And of course, my stuff at Rachel Kordell and Majora's Rose on Twitch, and Homie and the Dude, my
Whoa.
guy. Well, that's so crazy. Yeah, you should totally go over to hatdbuilder.com and use code RPJesters for 20% off your order, which gives us a little bit of a kickback to shows that you support the show and also want some cool new content to put into your games. Definitely check them out. Go see what they have. We've definitely talked about a lot of the stuff here, but just go look for yourself. Give yourself a little time to read it over. Come on. You gotta do it. Jump over to Casey.
Yeah, go check out our Patreon if you want to support the show directly. We got a bunch of bonus content over there for you, from our after show to our game dev interviews to, all the discounts that you can get on our merch store over at rpjesters.com. Now that's a segue. Go check out rpjesters.com to see all of our different merch. We have hench merch out now as well. Hopefully we'll be getting some Blood on the Reed stuff at some point. I have some ideas in the chamber, so we'll see if we can get some out before this episode comes out.
On God Crab.
And then, you can check out my personal socials at Casey_Reardon. Popcorn over to Seth.
Drown yourself. Blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Train.
Appalachia One Piece is wild.
Yeah.
And
Fill your pockets with rocks and walk into the ocean.